Right, when looking for videos to react to, I saw this title, Replacing People with AIs is Not Going Well. And this is another topic that I disagree with Asmongold on how effective AI is going to be in replacing people. It's going to happen, but not to the degree a lot of people are dreaming. And it looks like this is a video where he's going to confront the reality that that is right. But we'll see. He's a lot more pro AI than I am.
Intelligence at over 500 locations in the United States.
I fucking knew it. I knew it. Because they started getting my order right for the first time in 30 years. I'm like, how are they getting it right now, but they haven't been getting it right for 30 years? No, now I knew they were doing this.
Aim was to reduce mistakes and speed up orders.
They did.
But in some cases, AI delivered just the opposite.
Yeah, you see how he's a huge believer in AI, convinced it's like a miracle thing. He's a little deluded. Love you, Asmon.
Like this frustrated customer.
And what will you drink with that?
I want a large Mountain Dew.
And your drink?
McDonald's drive-thrus.
Nope. I'm not going to do that because
You see, he's upset because the AI is stupid.
I'm telling you, people do that too. So
Oh, he's coping so hard.
I think that at every fast food restaurant, they have a competition. Who can speak the worst English? And the person that wins that competition gets to take orders from the drive-thru. So really, when I see this, it's not a surprise at all.
Okay, if you're saying someone who can't speak English at all versus an AI, yes, they're probably at the same level of effectiveness. But anyone who has a barest minimum comprehension of the English language will surpass that AI we just saw.
Also tried AI, but decided to scrap it because it was too unreliable.
No.
One person had bacon added to their ice cream in error, and another had
That's just a fat person saying it was a mistake. They probably did that on
Yeah, it's funny he's saying this, but he's still coping.
purpose.
hundreds of dollars worth of chicken nuggets mistakenly added to their order.
Another fatty.
As for Taco Bell, the fiasco has caused them to rethink their use of AI.
Yeah.
Their chief technology officer, Dane Matthews, told the Wall Street Journal in regards to deploying the voice AI system, quote, "Sometimes it lets me down, but sometimes it really surprises me," end quote. And
That's what people do.
he said is the very crux of consumer generative AI today. It works most of the time, but about a few % of the time, it just gets things wrong.
Yeah.
But where does this all lead? A recent MIT report found that after surveying 150 business leaders and 350 employees, just 5% of integrated AI pilots are extracting millions in value, while the vast majority remain stuck with no measurable profit and loss impact.
Exactly what I would expect. That, like 5% actually useful. The rest, just meaningless waste of money. And see this expression on his face. He thinks AI is this miracle thing in his mind, and this is rocking his world view.
In other
It's
words,
probably true.
AI implementation fails in 95% of the cases.
Yeah, I wouldn't be
The market was
surprised.
spooked by these findings, and shares in Nvidia, the $4 trillion company whose chips power the AI boom, dropped by 3.5%,
Jesus.
while Palantir fell by 9% off the back of the
Damn, bro.
news. It all sounds pretty heavy.
One thing I do like is that he admits when he's wrong when confronted with solid evidence.
But this was just a reaction to the headline, because as you dig deeper into what was actually said in the report, the picture isn't as clear-cut as AI simply failing everywhere.
Yeah, obviously.
A few episodes ago, I talked about the current crisis with new graduate jobs. A large part of that was the AI threat.
Imagine going to school for 4 or 6 years, and then by the time, whenever you start school, you're going to get a job, and by the time that you finish your degree, your job's been replaced by a robot. That would suck.
It's true and happening.
Yeah,
It would.
that would really
entry-level
suck.
jobs, especially in the creative fields.
I'd be
I
pissed.
did caveat in that episode that current AI systems still get a lot wrong, but will improve in the future.
Yep.
But today,
When you have an AI image, yes, it does it, but the small mistakes are stuff that are often not easy to correct. like a bad proportion, whatever. If AI can be used to additive, like take over some task in graphic design while leaving the rest be finished by a human, that'd be useful. But if what it does is not salvageable by a human, if correcting what the AI does wrong takes more effort than having a human just do it from the start, that's, I think, the case a lot of the time, and so it's not worth using AI at all.
Hey, let's explore that fact a bit more deeply. What if generative consumer AI continues to underperform in businesses for years to come? In this episode,
I think it will, because this AI, it's not actually thinking. It's just pattern recognition on a really advanced scale. So it's not making intelligent decisions. Like, there are all these search results where you search in Google and AI gives an answer that's complete batshit. It doesn't have the human thing to recognize bullshit. And as long as it's missing that, it won't truly be useful.
we'll look at how AI is actually performing once put into the position of taking people's jobs.
Okay.
To summarize the sentiment of this episode, it's
I
basically
think that AI will never completely replace a lot of jobs, but it will make one person able to do 5 jobs. I think it will act mainly as a force multiplier, and then expecting it to completely.
That's what I am saying about a force multiplier. It's only a force multiplier if what it's doing is useful enough that a human can work with it.
Replace people altogether, I think is, you're jumping the gun way too much. And I think that's really where AI is going to come in clutch. AI is an extension rather than a replacer. Exactly. Now, does it replace people like by abstraction? Because obviously if you have one person doing 5 people's jobs, well, you don't need the other 4 people, right? Yes, but it's in the matter of the way that you frame it.
this. Consumer generative AI will revolutionize global productivity eventually, but as for now, it's possibly in a bubble.
I don't know about.
Oh yeah, definitely 100%. Just because that is how Wall Street functions. There was internet bubble that whenever a new invention comes out or something, everyone overestimates and people oversell it and it becomes a bubble. All these AI, right now the cost isn't being factored in. All these AI firms are being given investor money and it costs a lot in electricity, in computer chips to do these AIs, and unless you actually get value out of it, it's all those all those websites that during the internet boom that didn't have any way to generate a profit.
That.
You are watching Cold Fusion TV.
We'll see.
So first thing, let's lay it out straight. AI has some legitimate use cases and works well in non-critical areas that don't require 100% precision. Robots, live translation, and even some prototype website builders like Lovable
Of course.
are some examples. But the sentiment is clear. Most people online find it annoying. But that aside, there's a fun...
I think that there is a massive internet circle jerk of people that negatively talk about AI.
I negatively talk about AI because it's shit 99% of the time. And that's that thing. AI sucks. And 99% of the time, it's like poor, like art so bad you recognize it's AI, and it's companies trying to cheap out and deliver an inferior product using AI. So 99% of the cases of AI is shit product used to try to save money by companies, and it sucks.
And I think it's become kind of like that. Give me likes for saying that AI is bad.
No, it's not that. It's because whether all these like Wizards of the Coast is an example, a card company. Wizards of the Coast admits to using AI art after banning AI art. So it's basically a company that's trying to save money that's delivering inferior images on their cards now. And that sucks. There's no upside to this. There's nothing good about this. There's nothing redeeming about this. It's a company laying off their artists to deliver an inferior product that people hate, and it's bad for the consumer, it's bad for the artists that would have made the images on these cards, and it's good for greedy corporate executives that give themselves a bonus for using AI, and everyone else loses. And that's why people hate AI. It's not rocket science.
ad type thing. I think a lot of AI hate is kind of like, I think it's very forced, and
It's not forced. I've run into it again and again and again and again and again. It pollutes everything. You look for an image of something, and you have a ton of bad AI images that make the search harder nowadays. There's all these lower quality images making it the games and comics and everything and advertisements because people are relying on AI. There are some fun cases of AI. There are some good things, but there is a huge amount of bad AI stuff, and that's what people hate.
it's kind of like appealing to this group of people that I feel like are delusional.
See what I mean about him being in his own delusion about AI? It's really simple. People have had bad experiences with AI, a lot of them, and that's why they don't like it. And it's nothing to do with this whatever he's trying to say.
Like a lot of the people that are talking about AI being bad are, they're like content creators or artists or stuff like that. And I can get why people would complain about it, but
Not only them, although I am those things, I just can recognize bad art. And when suddenly the art from a company goes down and it's obviously AI and they've switched to something that I consider inferior and is obviously inferior, yeah, I don't like it.
you can't deny that this is going to have a very, very large effect on, just business in general. Reddit hates AI. Yeah, a lot of platforms.
It's not a left-right issue. Because this is something so basic. Nearly everyone has had exposure to bad AI images, and it's the most common form of running into AI. And it's years away from being actually somewhat decent.
Platforms hate AI. The reason why people hate AI, I think one of the big reasons, is because it stands to take their jobs away.
It's not only that, it's pollution. It's like, for example, YouTube, all these AI videos. Now, polluting things, anytime an AI video pops up in my recommended, that is taking the spot of a video I might actually want to watch. If you do a Google image search for something, you'll have AI images now making it much harder to find an actual decent image. It's polluting the internet with this slop that no one wants.
That's the reason why. I think that's the main thing.
And the main thing is that slop that no one wants.
Fundamental problem with current generative AI. Let me explain. You see, everything we call artificial
First,
intelligence
yeah, it's a
today
lot of
was
it.
built on the findings of a 2017 paper from Google. That paper provided a way for AI to focus on different parts of an input sequence simultaneously and determine the relevance of each word to every other word. This innovation, called a transformer neural network, allowed researchers, computer scientists, and later companies to change the world. But herein lies
I
the
don't know how the
fundamental
tech
problem.
works, honestly.
With this method of transformer neural networks, it turns out by determining the relevance of each word and predicting the next word, it just makes up stuff. Essentially, it doesn't know what it's saying. We call this problem hallucinations, and it has real-world consequences.
Well, I think the consequences are when people take AI and they don't actually filter it through a human expert. Because
Filtering it for a human expert. Why not just use a human expert? Why have the slower step of using the AI that now needs to be double-checked by a human? If you can't trust the results from an AI enough to actually use it, if it needs to be filtered and double-checked, it's just not that useful.
I feel like AI, this is what I was saying before, right? AI can do a lot of the groundwork and do some of the busy work, and then it leaves that time open for the individual to make the actual crucial decisions. That's what I think.
Picture this. You're a business that decided to replace its staff with AI to write up patient documents, fill in patient information, summarize.
Terrible idea. Terrible. Yeah, nothing. If it's in a business that could kill people if wrong information is used, then never. No, don't use the AI. Not for another 50 years or 100 years. Because just one hallucination in this field could lead to death.
Meetings or do some basic scheduling. But as time goes on, to your horror, you realize that the AI system makes up 10% of everything that it delivers. But the real problem is, You don't know what it's made up and you don't know what's accurate.
Exactly. You see, then you have to go through and verify everything, and it provides no use whatsoever.
That's why you need to have people that are experts. And
Yeah, but if you have people that are experts that need to verify everything anyway, why have the AI? They could just have people. It's like it actually nearly makes more work to use the AI.
already trained in the field to where they can determine which part is inaccurate and which.
That's exactly the problem, as with gold. It's not possible. The only way to tell what's real and what's not is by looking at all the input documents and looking at the final result of what's recommended and seeing if it matches up. There's no way to just look at the result and tell it's wrong. That's what thing about hallucinations is. The prescriptions seem legitimate if you just look at the end result, but it might be a hallucination that has nothing behind it.
Part isn't.
Or your staff manually have to go back
So you gotta
and check
do.
everything. This ends up just being extra work for the remaining staff and ultimately is a waste
Yeah,
of time.
code reviews. Exactly.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. At best, it just doesn't provide any benefit. At worst, it actually makes more work.
It sounds stupid, but this is exactly what's happening. Now, the following are Reddit comments taken from those in the workforce who had to take the brunt
See, and the AI hallucinations are getting worse.
of upper management, thinking that blindly
And again, I want to look
comments
at
taken from
Asmongold's
those in the
reaction to
workforce.
that title. You see, this is a man having his world belief. It's like someone who absolutely believes in God and then is having something that's questioning that. He's been bamboozled by AI proponents, unfortunately.
had to take the brunt of upper management, thinking that blindly implementing AI was a good idea. Quote, "My company paid for some AI scheduling software a few months ago, thinking that it could free up the accounts team so that they could continue their hiring freeze in that department. Now the accounts team is having to do extra work making sure the program isn't messing everything up. Not to mention our production team that
This
never
seems like just your traditional upper management making
No, it's them trying to use an AI and it making it worse. Stop copying.
bad decisions because they don't really know what the people who they're managing's job is supposed to be. This doesn't really.
Yeah, okay. Asmongold, you're making bad assumptions. The person who uses AI might have been completely confident, and the problem might be the AI. Ever consider that?
I feel like this isn't really an innate problem with. It's not an innate problem
He's blaming the person and not the AI. That's
with AI. This is just a problem with management at a company.
had to worry about schedules.
It's incredibly
It's double
frustrating.
slash
Yeah.
triple checking everything. They're finally scrapping it for some basic scheduling
I'm not
software.
surprised.
And
yeah, exactly. Basic software that allows a person like a multiplier. Really good software can save time for people, and that is the best step for something like scheduling. If it's something that you cannot afford a mistake, it has to be perfectly accurate. You do not want something like AI that gives inaccurate results, that gives imprecise results.
same experience here. Products sold and demonstrated to be a lifesaver. Ultimately, the staff that used to do the work spend all their time making sure the AI doesn't screw up and help train it. Also, working in a medical/clinical setting, we really don't trust the new file sorting and labeling system. Names,
What a
date of
surprise.
birth, insurance data has to be perfect. AI is less than that. It fails at gathering proper demographic information and assigning relevant tasks.
Sure.
Sometimes it thinks the doctor is the patient or doesn't know where the document was faxed from, etc. And yet another user states that AI was good at taking notes from Zoom meetings, but would make up 5 to 20% of the content, even when hand-fed the transcripts of the meeting.
That's weird.
Those who look
No, it's not. You know, everyone who hates AI on the internet, they know this. That's why they hate AI. It's not weird. It's once you realize that it's 5 to 10% completely fucked up in everything it does. Yeah, that's why people hate AI.
over the AI-generated
The fuck?
summary realized that some of what was written wasn't even said. All of these disasters make sense. LLMs predict the next word statistically, but they'll never tell you when it doesn't know the answer or if it can't understand something.
Yeah,
There's
true.
many such stories of company regrets after rushing into half-baked AI solutions. A report suggests that 55% of companies regret replacing people with AI.
55%. And you have to say that's people that openly admit regret. There's probably more that don't want to admit that they were wrong. And there's probably another group that is, well, it's about the same as before we fired people. The group that's actually happy to have fired people for AI-driven layoffs, probably 10% or something.
I think that a lot of companies probably jumped the gun on it too much because they could see the writing on the
They jumped the gun on it because people like you, Asmongold, touted AI as this wonderful thing that was going to solve all problems. It's because people like you who hyped AI up that they jumped the gun. That's reality.
wall. It's very clear that this will happen and it will be useful at some point, but is it useful yet? I don't know.
Bank, for example, who fired staff to install an AI
That's already a moderation of his position. Before he was like, AI is certainly going to replace jobs and everything. He's adapting to new information.
chatbot that was so bad they begged for their old humans back. And take the example of Klarna. 2 years ago, they implemented a hiring freeze and began to replace their human staff with AI. By 2024,
Klarna is the app that people use so they can finance a pizza.
their headcount had
Great.
fallen from 3,800 to 2,000. But lo and behold, their customers wanted to speak to actual humans. Klarna said that its AI chatbots perform the work of 800 employees, but the company admits that their service quality and customer satisfaction have dropped, and they lament that human interaction is still needed.
Yeah, sure. That makes
On
sense.
replacing people with AI, the publication Fortune notes, quote, "Not only is it short-sighted, it's fundamentally bad business. The companies cutting people today in the name of AI will be the ones playing catch-up tomorrow. There's no doubt that AI is excellent at doing more with less. It speeds up processes, cuts down repetitive work, and buys back time.
I think that cutting down repetitive work is the biggest value add that they can have.
Yeah, but the problem is where the software can also cut down, just, regular software can cut down repetitive use. AI cuts down, but it's wrong 10% of the time. And if you have to double check everything to find that 10%, you're basically not saving any time or energy.
AI on its own
Because
cannot
that's where a
create
lot
the
of
next
the busy work
generation of
comes from.
products and services." End quote.
Mm-hmm.
So on Cold Fusion, we try to be thorough here. So it has to be said that all of these failures aren't the full story. There are indeed companies that are extremely successful at using artificial intelligence.
Yeah, the ones that understand it and they don't just want to use it
Now,
so they can not
even
pay
though
people.
the MIT paper said that
Obviously.
95% of companies who implemented generative AI failed in said implementation, the same MIT paper states, quote, "Some large companies, pilots, and younger startups are really excelling with generative AI. They mean startups led by 19 or 20-year-olds.
Yep.
They, quote, have seen revenues jump from 0 to 20 million in a year.
Because the 19 and 20-year-olds understand the product and the technology that they're using. This isn't anything new. This is the same with using the internet or using computers or any type of technology. Is that when you have people that are using it because they think it's the cool thing to do and they don't actually understand it themselves, what the hell do you expect?
It's because they pick one pain point, execute it well, and partner smartly with companies who use their tools," end quote. So how companies adopt AI is crucial. For example, purchasing AI tools from specialized vendors and building partnerships succeed 67% of the time, while internal builds succeed only 1/3 as often.
Wow.
This goes to show that you can't just slap AI everywhere and expect it to work. It needs thought in its implementation and also
Like anything else.
depends on the
Yes.
specificity of the AI tools in question. But in the grand scheme of things, it's still early days for AI, and it'll be naive to think that it will stay the same forever. All it would take is another groundbreaking paper, a new underlying neural network architecture, and everything could change again. This could
That paper happened nearly 30 years ago or more. Even if there's a new paper, it'll be a decade or two before those groundbreaking changes make it into the AI universe. So not anytime soon.
mean another giant leap forward that none of us are expecting. But in the
think that's true.
meantime, it's uncomfortable territory. So what happens?
Exactly 100% a bubble.
.com bubble. I mean, I think that AI, there's definitely a lot of
This would hurt Asmon's pride if it was a bubble, and it is a bubble. So it's going to be fun watching over time how it develops.
people that are like over invested into AI, and it will probably take long.
right here is a person that's over-invested into AI, who's put a lot of his credibility in how amazing AI is, and who has been deriding critics of AI for years now. And it's going to come back and haunt him.
Longer for certain things to happen, but I don't think it's going to be like a dot-com bubble burst. I don't.
Yeah, because that would be you just being flat out wrong, which that's what's going to happen.
Think so? Maybe, but that's not what I would expect.
Like the steam engine which sparked the industrial revolution of the late
Are you for or against implementing AI in the workforce in place of humans? I'm very much for it.
Yep, you see, he's for it. And that's because he's a big believer in it. And the crash of the AI, meaning it would reveal to everyone that it was a stupid idea in 95% of the cases to try to do this stuff with AI. It would be him having to eat some humble pie. Sorry, he's been spouting these wrong opinions on AI for so long now that there is a tiny bit of satisfaction in watching him realize that he is on the losing side of this particular issue.
My mindset is that I think a lot of jobs, if there's a job that can be replaced by a robot, I think that you should do that.
Exactly. If there's a job, it can be replaced by a robot. But can that robot do the job better? Does the robot cost less? If the robot ultimately ends up costing company more, which is what is happening in 95% of the case, it's not a good idea to replace people with a robot. It hurts people being replaced, and it hurts the company trying to that ends up spending more. Hurts everyone. It's a stupid idea.
I think really the problem isn't that AI is replacing people. It's that people need those jobs to make money. So the real core issue is that people rely on jobs in order to make income, and you need to make income to live in society.
You know, if that was the sole issue, that AI was replacing people and people were losing jobs because of that, I would actually agree with him. The problem is AI is not great. It's not good at doing stuff in vast majority of situations. And by adopting it, companies are hurting themselves, shooting themselves in the foot. That is what I believe. He believes the opposite, that the only downside to adopting AI is people losing their jobs. This entire video is pointing out that the company using AI, what was it, like 2/3 regret it? Yeah, it's not a good idea.
AI is not actually the problem. It's a...
It is the problem. That was the entire beginning of this video was about, is how the AI is the problem.
Symptom of a larger problem. And I think that as technology, automation, machines, AI get better, you're going to have more and more jobs that will be replaced by technology. And I think this is a...
Well, that is always true, but it's going to happen a lot slower. 10, 20 years, then yes, AI is going to replace people and do stuff. But it's nowhere near ready today.
This is a general thing. It's not unique to AI. It's overall. And what's going to end up happening is that we will reach a point where employment is no longer an expectation in society. And
oh yeah, he also believes that no one's going to have to work in the future. We can have universal income. He has a little bit of utopian delusions on that.
I am a universal basic income person.
You see, universal. The whole problem is, no one would work anymore. Why would you work? Anyone has a job that pays about the same amount as minimum income. They have no incentive to work at all. If you have something supplementing income, that could potentially work. But universal income, people would just stay and play video games all day, like young men. Why go out and try to find a job if you're just going to get universal income? Because universal income, I guarantee you that if you got income, it's not going to pay you anything. It's only for people that don't have a job. And so it disincentivizes the entire population from getting a job. It's suicide for an economy to implement universal income. But whatever, everyone has their bad ideas or their bad views, and we're just running into a lot of them in this particular video. But usually he's pretty good on his opinions.
I think this is an inevitability of time. And once...
Just like digital ID, right, Asman? You're going to be eating a lot of humble pie the next year.
Enough jobs are replaced by technology, robotics, AI, and other forms of computers. How is somebody going to be able to make a living if there's no job for them to do? And so like farm equipment, yeah, sure, right? I mean, you've got a lot of examples of that. So I think this is an inevitability. And I think also, even if you think that it's not an inevitability, other places in the world think that it is. And when other places in the world, here's a great example. Nike and Adidas are two of the biggest shoe companies and apparel companies in the world, right? And why are they so big? One of the big reasons why they're massive.
They're old companies that and they have grown by acquiring other brands and they buy up competitors. Very old company, established company. That's why they're so big. No.
And hugely successful is because they utilize third world labor in order to make products for cheaper than their competitors. So when American companies and
they do that too.
Western companies choose to side in terms of ethics, what they end up doing is they end up effectively putting off different types of.
Before you would tariff like companies that with cheap labor that don't have healthcare and whatever to make sure your domestic manufacturers were competitive. And the United States used to be the most protective country in the world in terms of tariffs. And that's back when we manufactured 2/3 of the world's goods. We were the China of the world. We have fallen so far from there. And we now have an economy that depends on borrowing from abroad. And that borrowing from abroad depends on the strength of the dollar and confidence in the U.S. government. Once confidence in those two things collapse, we have an economy that runs on something that no longer works. And we have lost our factories, lost our production, and it's going to be like the collapse after the fall of the Soviet Union in the United States. It's going to be a big fall.
Social conversations because people don't want to have them. And also they end up outsourcing that exploitation to the third world. And I think that what's going to happen with AI is that if we have companies here that are using AI or are not using AI, but companies in China or the Middle East or Russia are using AI,
those companies in the Middle East and China are going to fail because AI is not productive in the same way humans are. And then you're actually giving an example that's going to prove you wrong. The companies using AI, by and large, the majority of them are going to fail to competitors who don't embrace AI. That's the entire point of this video. And it's your failure to admit or recognize this is why you're on the wrong side of this issue.
And it's able to increase their productivity in a free global market. Those companies will outcompete and beat American companies, which will put us at an economic disadvantage. So I think that you either take advantage of this and capitalize on it, or you lose to people that do.
1700s, the internet is changing everything it touches.
That's what I think.
And at the cutting edge of the revolution is Wall Street.
In the dot-com bubble during the mid-90s, everyone who simply put a .com at the end of their company name saw massive valuations.
Yes, that's another reason I think AI is a bubble, is because there's the same mentality, same hype behind the AI. And the fact that, let me put it this way, even if AI was half as useful as Asmongold believes it is, the fact there's way too many AI firms and too many companies investing in AI. There's not the demand to use all this AI that's being produced. So it's good. That's why it's a bubble. And even if AI was useful, there's still far too much of it, and too much is being invested. It's too costly. I mean, huge power bills for this AI stuff and hardware, and there's just not enough revenue to make up for all that cost.
Because investors who didn't understand the technology saw them as the future. In reality, these companies had no solid way of making a profit or
Oh, he might actually be invested in AI. Oh no. Hope you don't have a big loss, Asmon.
didn't even have a business plan. When the broader market realized that it would...
Yeah, he has wealth and he has advisors, and he probably has money in the AI. That's see, sometimes bias come from stuff like that. If you have $1 million invested into AI, it's going to affect your views on stream. It is.
It's all a smokescreen. The sector crashed. Most companies went out of business, and only a handful made it out and are giants today. So let's compare that to the AI wave of today.
I do think that there will be.
Asmongold never talks about this. He has so much money. Where is that money? Because if he, like the example I just gave, he has money in AI stocks, it's going to affect his view on how useful and potential transformative AI is. I mean, if it's a small part of his portfolio that he himself isn't really involved with, fine. But if he has any major investment and stuff, it'd be good to know. He should admit that, because it is something that his audience should keep in mind.
A degree of AI companies that will fall off. I would assume probably half of them will fall off. And I think that AI will probably be kind of, I hope it's not like Google. I hope it's kind of like email, where there's like.
Is that, now I have to think, is it because you're invested into a Google of AI?
Like 4 or 5 big email services. There's like a Hotmail, Gmail, there was AOL for a while, Proton Mail, and maybe a couple of others. But other than that, everything else is pretty much defined. And back in the day, a lot of them, 90%.
And I'm just saying that because even though Google is a long-term success, it went down a lot during the crash of the .com crash. So being invested in Google, in the height of the internet bubble was not a good thing. Not a good thing. It took you 10 years to get that back.
Some will fall off, yeah. But I do hope that we're not using only one AI model in the future. I think that's very, very dangerous.
The long-awaited release of ChatGPT 5 was a disappointment, and many users even thought the previous version was better. And this caused
no, wait.
See, that's another thing, like the old version of AI being better. He's into this idea that AI is going to constantly improve, ever improving. And so a story like this, that a version of AI getting worse, this entire video is damaging to his psyche.
A second, let's add some context to that. The people that were complaining about ChatGPT 5 were people that were trying to have an emotional relationship with ChatGPT 4. And ChatGPT 5 didn't add as much flowery language and as much flirting in it that GPT 4 had, so they were crying about it whenever they had to update it.
There were those people, but that's not what he's touting. There are people that just don't like GPT-5 because it's worse, and they weren't trying to flirt with it.
Because now their girlfriend doesn't call them babe anymore because she's a GPT-5 girlfriend instead of a GPT-4. So it's not like this was a mass thing that everybody was mad about. There was a very, very specific contingency of people that were upset about.
Okay, let's see if he was telling the truth. Okay, right now, first comment. I find GPT-5 much worse for research. 04 Mini and 04 were significantly better research tool. Nothing to do with AI girlfriend. That's what I mean. He is coping so hard on this AI stuff. First comment, I feel it's a downgrade. Yeah, you see, I didn't mind the friendly. That's the party things. But what I really miss is old model is good code generation. So yeah, what he misses good code generation. So he's just flat out wrong. What he's saying here, it's all a girlfriend thing. You don't see this often. You have Asmongold on the wrong side of an issue, trying to cope like his life depends on it.
About this, and they were upset for a very specific reason.
OpenAI to scramble.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just adding
in addition,
that in, okay?
The company was also caught blatantly fudging the performance numbers in some very strange graphs. Incremental rather than revolutionary was the tone. Soon, Meta would announce that it's downsizing its AI division, and this comes amongst a growing chorus of analysts.
There it is. See, they even said it right there. Meta allowed AI chatbots to have sensual conversations with children.
Yes. That's another problem with AI. The humans have morals, Humans have all these built-in safeguards and mechanisms that, like common decency, that AIs don't have. If children try to have a sensual conversation with an actual person working for Facebook, that actual person most of the time would have morals and wouldn't go along with it. But the AI chatbots don't have that basic decency.
Children? Oh, wow. I would have never expected that.
Amongst a growing chorus of analysts saying that AI is heading towards, if not, is already in a bubble. And next, we have the massive valuations and spending. NVIDIA...
Yes, this is the one that absolutely 1000% makes it a bubble, is that the valuations, the investment, there's just way too much in AI right now. There's no way demand could ever make up, no revenue that could ever justify the height AI has grown into. And maybe Asmongold doesn't have as much experience with .com bubble, he would recognize it easier. Even if everything he believed, even if AI was as useful as he believed, which it obviously is not, there's just way too much money in it.
H100s, the GPUs that power the
I do think NVIDIA is overvalued.
artificial intelligence boom, are about $30,000 to $40,000 each. Google has 26,000 of them, and they've managed to create AlphaFold, Gemini, Veo3,
That's a lot.
and more. But Meta, on the other hand, has 600,000 NVIDIA H100s. And while they do have the open source Llama LLM, it isn't discovering new science like Google's AlphaFold for 23 times the compute.
I feel like Meta's kind of fallen off. Like, imagine spending trillions of dollars, maybe hundreds of billions of dollars to
You can't spend your way to success. You have to have talented individuals.
make a metaverse, and then you lose to a kid's video game Roblox that's not even trying to beat you. They just accidentally beat you in a game that you've invested hundreds of billions of dollars into. Like, oh, oops. Oh, wow. Oh, we accidentally. Oh, geez.
And to give you an idea of how extreme this is all getting, AI itself has caused a
Fortnite to a lesser
4%
extent.
increase in electricity use in the US.
See, that's a bubble. That's insane.
Stanley states that data center investment will reach $3 trillion over the next 3 years.
That's a lot.
In preparation
And what's worse, not only is all this investment in AI, there's all this money still, all this AI capacity still coming online. So you have the amount of AI available going up. And on the other side, like this video said, you have demand for it. All these companies realize it's not that useful and downsizing it. So demand is plummeting. Supply is skyrocketing. That's bubble. Big bubble.
for AI use. And of course, that's heavily fueled by debt.
Ooh.
Yes, debt and investment.
The belief is that AI will cut costs by 40%, and
More.
that should add
More. He says more. You see that insane delusion. Insane. You have this video. He said 95% of the cases it wasn't effective, and you think it's going to cut 40% of the cost? Okay, maybe in 50 years, over the next 50 years, it'll cut for. But he isn't thinking over the next 50 years. He's thinking in like next 5 years it'll cost. That's. I'm going to bake the humble pie for him myself.
$16 trillion to the S&P. But as we've just seen at the beginning of this episode, according to that MIT study, that could be very unrealistic. So this could be the future if AI...
See that title, Asmongold, that you refuse to believe AI continues to underperform. It's not like they're underperforming. It continues as it has been, and right now it is still underperforming.
It doesn't improve massively soon. Number 1. Business executives and business owners will get frustrated with hallucination,
The demand is going to plummet.
40%
useless
unemployment?
solutions, bad code, and a very poor return on investment. Number 2. A lot of the AI gurus like Sam Altman will have to admit that artificial general intelligence isn't going to be achieved by LLMs, and they're essentially a
Yes, this AI is not human-level intelligence. It will never be human-level intelligence. That means as it currently, those current neural networks, it can be, it can trick people, but all types of things can trick people into thinking it's human. there was computers even before neural networks that if you spend enough effort and in the right situation could trick humans. That's not proof. Being able to make judgments, good judgments in the real world, this type of neural network AI will never achieve that. It needs something more. Like you said, another paper. That's another revolutionary concept to transform the neural network into a human level AI. But having more processing power is not the answer. It won't do it.
Dead end. Number 3. The general populace begins to get sick of LLMs, and we're already seeing it. The absolute flood of AI slop, the
Exactly. Like I said at the beginning, this is why people hate AI. Not because of artists or whatever, or jobs lost, because of all the stupid junk that's flooding the internet on Twitter, all these images that are terrible. That's why people hate AI.
Nations. AI agreeing with what you...
I think that a lot of people don't know how much the average normie thinks that those AI videos are funny.
Again, why would so many people hate AI if they thought those images were funny? Maybe one or two, but when you've seen 100 of everyone is going to get so tired of them so fast. Only people think it's funny as like 10-year-old kids that have no world experience and are running into it the first time. Oh God.
I think that there's a huge circle jerk on social media, especially with people that make content and on Reddit, that this AI stuff isn't funny.
Okay, when something is that scale, when both on the left and the right feel the same way, it crosses aisles. It's universal. People hate it. Everyone hates it because it's slop.
I see some of these AI videos, like people send me screenshots of it and stuff. I don't really go on Facebook myself.
Yes, so he makes these judgments just like digital ID without knowing full information.
But people have showed me this, and you have these people that are just, you know, some fucking AI video has 80,000 likes and people think it's funny. So,
okay, this right here, this right here is why Asmongold has such a warped view of AI. What he doesn't understand is there was 10,000 videos, AI videos, that didn't get a million views or what he says, 80,000 likes. It's just, if you take darts and just throw them blindly at a wall, eventually one of them is going to hit a bullseye. It's not because AI is actually good. It's just, if you just say, oh my God, it's a bullseye, and you ignore the thousands of misses, you have a completely warped view of how effective AI is.
I feel like the amount of AI hate is massively, massively overstated. It's like 10 people that hate AI sound like 100 people.
Oh, no. It's not universal, but it is a huge amount of hate for AI because a lot of people have had bad experiences with it. Lots and lots of people have had bad experiences with it in nearly every field.
Users say, sometimes driving them insane.
Just look at this video. Imagine this video. This 95% of companies find it not useful. Imagine all the employees in these companies that have to deal with this idiotic AI giving wrong prescriptions and getting doctors and patients messed up. Imagine you're an employee having to deal with that. Yeah, you're going to hate AI after that. Yeah, you're going to think it's terrible. You have thousands and thousands of employees exposed to bad AI. Those people go on the internet. Those people are on Facebook and Twitter. That's where a lot of the hate is coming from. People that have real world experiences with AI.
Number 4. In seeing this, the venture capital finally dries up, and LLMs become just too expensive to justify unless there's a massive increase in efficiency.
The cost to run OpenAI's data centers, all the pipes and guts and things that like keep AI running, is about $40 billion a year.
Exactly. And are they making $40 billion in revenue? Give you a hint, no.
Okay.
Their revenues right now are only like 15 to 20 billion.
That's a lot.
And finally, number 5. After a long winter, new implementations come around that truly live up to the hype promised by the first wave. So just like the dot-com bubble, there's going to be a few winners that rise from the ashes. But if or when it crashes, from here, we see the true artificial intelligence companies that last the distance.
Thank you for watching. Remember to like and subscribe. Maybe come watch me on Twitch or Kick. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.